What up, YouTube? This is the Young Chevy Truck YouTube channel where I plan on showing you how to build a 1984 Chevy C10 truck that just burns rubber, ain't meant to be fast, and only meant to be fun for you. And in this episode, we're just going to be answering some of the questions that you guys have left me on my phone. Well, not on my phone, but on my in my YouTube stuff, in my comment section. And I haven't even looked at all of them yet. I know a couple people actually commented, but y'all really came through for the kid. Those couple people who actually commented, and y'all gave me a couple questions, so that's great. And we're just gonna run down all of them. I'm not gonna I guess I'm not gonna give your names up. I mean, I don't know. Comment below if you want me to give your actual names out when I do the videos. Let me know. Just let me know about what you think about that, and I'll actually sort of shout you guys out as I answer the questions or something like that. But for now, I think I'm just going to read the comments and get the questions from them. So let's go ahead and start from the beginning, from the top. Okay, these are my OG guys right here. Alright, and homie gave me a whole bunch of questions. I gotta answer all of them. Alright, so he wanted me to give a quick rundown of what the truck really is in terms of all the specs and everything. So, what transmission? The transmission that's in the truck is the legendary TH400, what people use on a million LS swaps across the globe. So, TH400 is a really stout 3-speed transmission that I believe the way it's set up naturally is just really, really strong. It's almost like, it literally, it's like the small block Chevy transmissions. The TH350, not so much. 700R4, not so much. But the TH400 is known for being really strong in stock form. In fact, I've heard of people having stock transmissions and drag racing their cars just fine, with no problems. So it is a TH400 with a stock style converter, no extra stall or anything like that. So what gear ratio? The gear ratio in my Chevy truck is a 273. I know what you're thinking. Yeah, it's 273. So and a big part of me not going super wild with the motor build is because I know I would have to do something with the rear gears, or else I probably wouldn't have any fun with all that juice. So I won't be able to use any of it, down low. So at the low speeds, because that first gear is long. It'll probably take me to 50 miles an hour. With the right motor, first gear will definitely take me to about 50 miles an hour, which is no good. So yeah, 273. Is the rear end open, or is there a limited slip or locker installed for better burnouts? Not yet. This truck is really stock. It's really, really stock. Along with the 273, it has an open diff, right? Because I'm a broke boy, and but trust me, that's coming sooner. I've been trying to decide whether if I want to go completely nuts and just put a spool in it, or put a limited slip diff in it, which would cost a whole lot more, but it's safe, and my mom would probably be mad at me if she knew what a spool would do, so I'm probably not going to do a spool, but it's just, thoughts that I've been bouncing back and forth in my head, because I got a million of them, so. But yeah, a limited slip is definitely coming soon, though. I just haven't really talked about it too much. I guess I'm trying to do it, one step at a time. I'm not trying to get too ahead of myself, because I will. Knowing me, I will. On to the next question. What tire size are you running? I'm running 225 75 R15s all the way around, and those are really skinny. They look fine on the front, but the back is where they really, really look skinny. And it's almost as if the rear end is more narrow than the front end, and how it's set up with the the double wishbone and all that. So it looks like it's skinnier in the back than it is in the front. It's awkward. I want to get 235s on the back to balance it out. It'll make it look like it's about something. 235s or 245 15s, and roll with that. And I think that'll be pretty good. If I don't change the compound of the tire, then it shouldn't affect the tire burning effect. So, and still keep the awesome look. So yeah, that's my tire size. Is the suspension totally stock? Is it lowered? New shocks? New polyurethane bushings? It is completely stock also. Well, That's a good question. That's a real good question. I know RideTech took into consideration the fact that we can't tell what's lowered and what's not all the time. So I know with the RideTech kit, they list the height from the fender to the center of the wheel. So I need to look at, my truck, that measurement, from the fender to the center of the wheel, and look at theirs, for their, 2-inch drop spindle kit and all that. And I want to see, if my truck is lower, because I really don't know. It looks like it sometimes. It looks like it's lower than all the other C10s out there running around. So I really don't know. I'm not sure. But I don't think it is. I think it's stock. Because, I still go over curbs and stuff just fine. So I don't know. Who really knows? But I'm definitely going to check those measurements, because I feel like that's the best bet that I have with figuring out if it's lowered or not. Because everything is old and greasy. I won't be able to tell anything new from anything original at this point, because it's all been on there for forever. Any other cool facts about the truck? When I first tore the motor down, the truck was an original 305 truck, so it had the 5-liter. Did not have the 5.7, coming out of the factory. So that's what I thought I was tearing into. I did all the research on 305s, how much power I could get out of them, this, that, blah, blah, blah. I ordered all the parts for them. Luckily, a small block Chevy is a small block Chevy, and all the parts fit for the 350 that I found out that was in there. And that was dope. Because I looked at it and I was like, that's good. It's a pretty big bore. Let's just measure it just because. It turned out to be a 4-inch bore. It was a 350. So that was awesome. I found out it was a 350 from a 1986 Chevy truck. Of course, a little bit newer than the truck. So it's definitely seen some motors in its day. For sure, 2 motors. The motor that it came with, wherever it may be today, and the 5.7 that somebody swapped into it. What compression ratio are you running on the engine? It's going to be about 10.2 to 1. The pistons I have are really, really tight. And so, with this piston setup, I could probably never run, forced induction ever. Because even with, 72cc cylinder heads, I would still run, 9.5 to 1, which I hear is, okay. But I would run, 9.5 to 1. I would need something more, like an 80cc. I don't even know if they make that. An 80cc combustion chamber volume. So that's what I would need to run something like that. So it's going to be really, really tight no matter what cylinder head I use, just because that's how the pistons are set up. Go over the heads and cam and intake that you will use with the engine. What size carburetor? Alright, so the camshaft, I don't even remember all the specs on it, but it's, I don't even know how to say it. I need to learn more about cams, but I understand it, but I don't know how to explain it to you, right? So my cam specs are actually on my best camshaft for a stock C10 video. I'll leave a link for it in the description, because I can't really give a full description to you. I understand duration, and I understand it's how long it keeps the valve open, but I can't really explain it to you. I can't really give you the exact measurement and the exact science behind it. But it's a .462 lift for the intake and .469 for the exhaust, and it has a 110-degree lobe separation angle. So and I ran it before on the old setup when I first rebuilt it, when I thought it was a 305, but it wasn't 305. It turned out to be a 350. When I first did the rebuild, I really liked that cam. It ran really nice. I have a really old video on my Instagram of the truck running when it first got exhaust put on it, and that thing was thumping. It sounded good. So I'm gonna find that video, and I might just put it into one of these videos that I got. So stay tuned. I might give you guys a little quick sound clip of what it used to sound like. Size carburetor. It is a 750 CFM Quadrajet, and Quadrajets are just known for being absolutely retarded huge for no reason. I don't really know why. I hear they're good carburetors though. Most things on the small block Chevy are pretty good. It's their design. It's simple, but it's to the point and it works. That's Chevy. Yeah, basically I'll say Chevy everything. Simple, to the point, makes sense, tough as nails. So that's why I like small block Chevy stuff for the most part. What size are those sweet roller rockers? They're 1.5, not 1.6. I know 1.6 it changes like the geometry a lot supposedly, so you got to do things with the push rods more too, from what I hear. And so I don't know how that works. The cylinder heads have a very small window, and so I feel like if I change that, it would like possibly rub on something. I don't know. It's probably not that big of a change when you go from 1.5 to 1.6. So I don't know what I'm saying. It's probably not even that big of a deal. But I want to stay with the 1.5 just to keep it simple and stock. Because I feel like, I mean, with anything, the further you stray away from stock, the more messed up it's going to be when it breaks. Or the more likely it is to break, in my opinion. You know, you drive a brand new Camaro SS1LE off the lot. If you take that motor out and put it in an older Camaro, it just became not as dependable as before. Because, you know, that probably made no sense. But you get where I'm going with that. On to the next question. Are you going to run a stock air cleaner with a snorkel or a 360-degree open style air cleaner? You know, I was going to run like the stock style air cleaner, not with the snorkel. That's actually my first time hearing anything like this. It's going to be the 360-degree open style air cleaner. Yeah, that's what it's going to be. What are you running for exhaust? Pipe size, cats or catless? What kind of mufflers? Oh, catless all the way. Catless all the way, y'all. Because in my state, actually, I think you can have, it has to be 25 years old, whatever car. If you know, to not have emissions, to skip emissions, you have to be 93 or older. And for that reason, I've been thinking about going to get a 93 Camaro with an LT1 in it and straight piping it, just because I can. But anyway, that's stuff y'all don't need to know yet. But it's a 2.5 inch piping in it right now, anyway. And I have these really cheap Summit brand mufflers that I bought just to get the truck running. And literally, I rigged it up so that they would work for a couple. I guess, you know what, let me save that story for another day, for shenanigans with my Chevy truck. How about that? The time my exhaust fell off. That remind me to do a video on that, guys, because I might forget. But the time my exhaust fell off will definitely have to be a video. But long story short, I had those mufflers, and when they actually started to push some real air, you know, when the motor actually started to push some real air through them, the baffling went bad and they started to rattle. So the ones that are in there on the truck right now, they're going to rattle as soon as I start the truck up. I know, but they're going to get the job done. I know that much. They're going to get the job done until I can get something. I've been thinking about like Flowmaster Super 10s for mufflers for the next time around, because I mean, my neighbors like me a little too much, so you know, I gotta change that. On a serious note though, my neighbors have been really cool about my truck being as loud as it is. I know you guys don't know how loud it is, but my neighbors have been pretty cool. I guess it's because, I mean, I lived in this house since I was 3 years old, so they knew me when I was a baby, and, you know, and I couldn't see over the steering wheel, so I think the fact that they just knew me when I was younger, they give me a pass. They give me an excuse to cut up just a little bit, so. Alright, so we're moving on to the next question. Next person also. How much power and torque do you think the truck is going to have? It's not going to be a lot. I guess that goes with the philosophy of ain't meant to be fast, only meant to be fun. So, it's probably going to push like a good 370 at the crank. That's just like a ballpark of what I'm thinking, because there was an article of a dude who had a 305. This is what the original plan was. Dude had a 305 and an El Camino, and it made literally like 80 horsepower at the wheels or something really terrible. 80 horsepower at the wheels, that's nothing. Especially for a big car like that. You want a little bit more sauce up in there. But he made 80 horsepower at the wheels, and so he got a cam that was a little bit like the one that I put in the motor that you guys know, and then he got the cylinder heads from the old setup, the Trick Flow 175s. They were 56cc, really tight compression, 86cc, and 175 for the intake port, 175 cc's for the intake ports. So they took all that stuff and they put it on that motor, and they got it to gain 168 rear wheel horsepower. So with that said, they gained 168 wheel horsepower from a stock 350, from a stock 305, I mean, with that setup. So I have 50 more cubic inches. My cylinder heads flow a little bit more, and my cam is a wee bit bigger. So, but that said, I think it's going to be a good, healthy 370 at the crank, because they made 250 at the wheel, so I might make, you know, closer to 300 at the wheel. Close, like, you know, inching up there, like a good 270 at the wheel is all I'm expecting from it. I'll probably put it on the dyno one of these days, because I think I have a homie who's got the hookup for a dyno, so I might have to actually dyno it just to see, you know, just for educational purposes, like to see what I built and to see how far it's come and to see what it's doing. So I'm definitely going to do that. And, you know, it's funny because one dude commented on my video and he was like, "You're going to get tired of only 350 horsepower." And I don't know if you know this, but it's a small block Chevy and it's got a weak cam in it. You act like it's going to have that weak cam all its life. That's what I don't get. We do things different on the Young Chevy Truck YouTube channel, okay? So we're not going to start out going completely nuts. I'm trying to appreciate the little steps of the way. And if I go put a huge cam in it, then I got to put a big converter in it. And then it's going to be no fun because my gears are like non-existent. It'll be like a CVT transmission, basically. So, yeah, that's kind of why I decided to keep the motor chill. But alright, let's move on to the next question. Why did you choose a C10? Future plans for the truck? But you know what, let's start, you know, from the top. Why did you choose a C10? I chose a C10 because I knew they were everywhere. Parts are everywhere, the trucks are everywhere. You can't leave the house without seeing at least one. Can't go throughout my day without seeing at least one. For people who don't know, people always assume that they're just like big slow trucks, but they're really built to do a lot when you think about it. So, like I said, a TH400 is a very strong transmission in completely stock form. There you go. The 8.5-inch rear end that comes in the truck, when built up, can take about 1,000 horses. So, there you go. And then, of course, I don't even have to talk about the small block Chevy, because you guys know how saucy a small block Chevy is. So you could literally buy one of these trucks, take all of the things that are already there that, you know, would make, you know, all the things that make a car awesome, and you can rebuild each and every one of these things and have an awesome car, an awesome truck, you know, without having to step up to this kind of transmission or step up to that kind of engine. You know, you could really just mess with what you have here. And the aftermarket following for small block Chevy parts and for TH400 parts and for 8.5-inch rear end parts, they're everywhere. This stuff is everywhere, literally. And I wanted something that I could kind of grow with. And I also thought, like, I probably shouldn't get something that's already there, if that made any sense. I wanted to appreciate, like, you know, starting from the bottom. So that's kind of why I chose the C10. I feel like that's like one of the most rawest, like, driving experiences ever. Like, you know, no, it's not a stick shift. It's an auto, but just something about the old school feel, the old school sound, no traction control, no ABS, no stability control, none of that. is your right foot and your hands, and that's what saves you. That's something that I like a lot about it. So I think it taught me how to drive, man. I had that thing for a long time, and it has definitely taught me how to drive over the years. And if you haven't noticed, just a quick side note, I literally just got home from work, and it is 1:03 a.m., and it is July 7th. This video is going up tonight in the next couple of hours. Even if it's 5 in the morning, it will be coming out. So, future plans for the truck. I don't want to give up everything, but I'm willing to give up a little bit. Just a little bit. Okay, so after this motor goes in, I'm going to drive it for a while, provide content that I, can for you guys. And then when I get the money and the funds together, I'm going to rebuild the rear end. And so I'm going to be putting 342 rear gears in it and an Eaton True Track differential and probably some bigger axles. Well, I don't know. I haven't really decided yet. Possibly some bigger axles because I'm thinking about the future, like the future, after the truck does the first thing that I want it to do successfully, which is burn rubber and have fun. For the sake of potential, I want to rebuild the rear end all the way, make it tough as nails, like everything else on it. As for the transmission, the TH400, I want to put a shift kit in it, but I think in stock form, yeah, it is a strong transmission, don't get me wrong, but if you really dog it out every single day, then it will die eventually. It will die because it's not made for that. But if you have a good transmission cooler on it, usually it'll last a while. I'm probably just gonna wait until that transmission dies. I know that's a really pessimistic way of thinking, but I'm gonna wait until that transmission dies, and then take it out. I have a shop that's not too far from here, and they're really, really good. And they rebuilt. They're the ones who actually built the one that's sitting in there now, and it's fully stock, shifts firm, shifts nice. It's a great transmission, and it was only for like $1,200 to drop it, rebuild everything front to back, and then put it back in. So, you can't beat that. That's one thing I do love about these cars. Another side note is the fact that you could literally, the TH400 has been around so long and has been in so many cars. I think the last car that they used it in was the Hummer. Or the car that they actually still use it in is the Hummer, like the military Humvees. I think they still have TH400s because they take torque. They take torque. They don't die. TH400s were in, if I'm not mistaken, Jaguars and old Rolls Royces and stuff like that. So they're tough. They're really tough. Oh, I'm tripping. Plans for it. Definitely want to rebuild it and put a shift kit in it. And I want to put a manual valve body in it also for obvious reasons. I don't want to disclose everything that I want to do to it because there are some things that not a lot of people have done before, and I'm trying to be some of the first, I want to be one of the first people to bring it to light for, everyone to see. I'm not going to disclose everything just yet, if you don't mind. I know that sounds kind of oh, I'm not going to pop my hood. That's like Beater Bomb. If y'all know 1320, y'all know Beater Bomb. Beater Bomb will not pop the hood for anybody. He doesn't care who you are. He's like, oh, I got it's a 4-cylinder from a Ford Ranger and a big cam. He'll lie and say it's something that's completely outrageous. But those were the questions, guys, that I got. I think I went through all of them. I don't know if I should start doing this as a segment, every single week. 429 subscribers. But I don't think I should do this as a segment every week because I feel like you guys won't really have questions every week, Maybe some of the new people, if y'all have questions for me, then heck, you can leave it on this video right here if you have any more questions. I know this is a long video. Y'all probably won't watch all the way till the end. So, but if you have stayed tuned till the end, make sure that if you want to hear more, then I'll just then I'll do this next week. Just leave whatever kind of questions you got for me right down below. And also before you guys go, I still need Instagram followers and Snapchat followers. You know what I mean. But I'll put my the Instagram/Snapchat name down here below, right there. YUNGCHEVYTRUCK, straight through. No spaces, underscores, none of that. No caps. Just like that. How you would spell it any other day. So, just like that, y'all. This one's pretty much over. I'm a little tired. I'm not gonna lie. Worked all day. But I have, content to share with you guys, so I think it was a good day so far, just because of that. I'm definitely trying to keep going with daily uploads on the weekdays. So there will be no video tomorrow or the next day, sadly. But I will be back on Monday, and we will have something dope to show you guys then. And my birthday's next week, so that's a bet. That's a bet. Can't wait. So, just like that, guys, I think this one's pretty much over. I'm not going to hold you up any longer. We're going on 30 minutes now on, the GoPro. I'll probably cut some stuff out, add some things, and, trim up some things. So it might be like a 26-minute long video. But if y'all are cool with it, then I'm cool with it. Comment below. Tell me what you think about this video, man. And leave a like if you like the whole idea about, like having a question answering video for every Friday. I don't know though. I don't know if I can stomach doing it every Friday. I don't know if we can stomach doing it every Friday. But like I said, guys, here goes one of my long outros. I really appreciate you guys watching. Have a good one.